So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, also subscribes to my channel. Today we will talk about top 10 smallest pets in the world. 1. Pygmy marmoset. You are not likely to catch sight of these mini monkeys too much. They come from high in the rainforests of South America. They will leap and duck and dive in between the branches of the trees and creepers. Then they will suddenly freeze like a statue and then dash off again, just like a little squirrel. In fact, it's also got brown hair similar to a squirrel, and its tail is much like a squirrel too. It's the color of these marmosets that camouflage them so well from their enemies. These little pygmy marmosets are literally the world's smallest monkeys. Actually, when it is fully grown, it will fit into an adult's hand, and it doesn't weigh any more than a stick of butter, you could say. Its tail, though, is longer than its body. It's the tail that helps to give the monkey its balance as it leaps from trees to tree and gallops its way through the trees. 2. Pygmy rabbit. The pygmy rabbit is the smallest rabbit in the world. It's got gray fur and little white spots on its nose. It won't grow much bigger than a person's foot and weighs only about 1 pound. It lives in burrows or near tall grasses and brush. They like their food near them, which is a lot of grass, and they particularly like the sagebrush. This tiny little rabbit is very rare these days because sagebrush is being destroyed as farms take over. In fact, this little rabbit is now an endangered species. They are active in the day as well, but mostly in the evening and just before the sun rises. In the afternoon, they rest near their burrows to dive in should danger come. Their main predators are fox, bobcats, badgers, coyotes, owls, etc. 3. Madone Bird's mouse lemur. The cute Madone bird mouse lemur does look a bit like a mouse. These lemurs have a grayish-brown body with brown heads and 2 big ears. They will listen out for bird alarm calls and other lemurs to drive their predators away. These lemurs are the smallest primates in the world and are only found in western Madagascar. They have cinnamon and yellow colorings with light gray included. The underfur is a neutral black and gray color. You won't find them really anywhere else in the world. They are solitary creatures and operate at night. During the day, they will sleep in nests in the trees or holes. They often groom each other or huddle together for a few minutes. 4. Speckled Padloper tortoise. The little speckled Padloper tortoise is the smallest in the world, and it won't survive being kept as a pet. Their coloring is goldish beige and their shell has black spots. They eat mostly a plant diet. The tortoise is native to South Africa. You can tell this particular species apart from other tortoises in its genus by the fact that it has 5 toes on its forefeet and by its speckles. They live on the rocks and rocky outcrops, foraging for food among the rocks. Then they have the shelter of the rocks from the heat and also from predators. Being herbivores, they will feed on leaves, flowers, grasses, shrubs, succulents, and forbs. They are reclusive animals and are most active early in the morning. 5. Etruscan shrew. The Etruscan shrew is the smallest mammal known by its mass. Their main characteristics are their very rapid movements and the way they eat so fast as well. It also eats around 1.5 to 2 times of its body weight each day. They have a particularly large head compared to the rest of their body, with small hind limbs. 6. Slender blind snakes. Did you know that slender blind snakes are also known as worm snakes or thread snakes? They are very smooth and shiny looking. Slender blind snakes are very slim with bodies no wider than 0.2 inches. When you see them moving, they look like pieces of string or thread moving along. The adult can be around 4 to 10 inches long, and they don't weigh more than around 0.05 ounces or 1.4 grams in weight. Slender blind snakes are also the only snakes that have teeth on their lower jaw. They have no teeth on the upper jaw. Usually, they are just one color, like light to dark brown, gray, or black. Sometimes you get striped ones like the South American ones. These tiny snakes live in Central, South, and North America, but they can appear in Africa and Southwest Asia also. They can live in the desert or the rainforest and in rocks. 7. Balochistan pygmy gerbil. The Balochistan pygmy gerbil is literally the smallest rodent in the world and very cute indeed, even though it kind of looks a little disproportionate. It belongs to around 33 species of the gerbil, but it is by way the smallest out of all of them. It is so small it weighs less than an ounce. 8. Northern pygmy owl. They are known to take prey sometimes 3 times their own size. He is gray or brownish-gray in color. His head has white specks on it. He has yellow eyes and a yellow-green bill. You will find this little owl in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. He loves to live in the subtropical and tropical moist forests, wetlands, and savanna. This little owl is active at dusk and dawn. They are secretive, solitary birds. They will sit perched on the top of the trees, giving territorial calls, but they are so hard to see because they are so small. Also, their color makes them well camouflaged. 9. Bee hummingbird. This is the world's smallest living bird. It might be small, but it is a very strong flyer, just like the other hummingbirds are. They eat insects and spiders. If you want to go and find this little bird, you will have to go all the way to Cuba. When you get to the island, your next bet would be to go and search near the forests that have plenty of vines and bromeliads growing on the trees. Find the little bee hummingbird. It is only this location. You won't find it even in groups of other hummingbirds. This minute, exquisite little bird. After all, it is only about 2 inches long. They are so minute that people often mistake them for bumblebees. Can you believe that? And then they weigh hardly anything as well, as little as 2 grams. 10. Kitty's hog-nosed bat. These are also called the bumblebee bats. That's how small they are. But they are also the most threatened species of bat. They have a small little body that is reddish-brown and gray in color. You will find it living in big colonies, like in a cave, where there will probably be more than 100 bats living.